the remainder of the game was mapped out for Manchester United, but it's going to be different tonight. They were exceptional in that game, don't get me wrong, and the 2 saves from Altay Bayındır, who's unfortunately not available tonight, were excellent as well. But it's a Manchester United team that really need to take the game to Leicester. That is what they need to do this evening. I know that we say this and we churn this out time and time again, but this is a Leicester team that are very, very fragile, very vulnerable, and a good cup run can really help Manchester United's fortunes.
Certainly Leicester City struggling in the Premier League at the moment, and an interesting omission from their squad tonight. We'll get to them in a second. First, to the Manchester United team news, and the headline team news from United's point of view is that new signing Patrick Dorgu is handed his debut in a side showing 2 changes from the Crystal Palace defeat at the weekend. There's also a return to the starting lineup for Rasmus Højlund. Lisandro Martinez is missing, of course, after the club confirmed he tore his ACL in the weekend's defeat, and we wish him well. And Alejandro Garnacho drops to the bench. Bruno Fernandes has been involved in 10 goals in his last 10 FA Cup appearances, scoring 7 times and setting up another 3 goals for others. Altay Bayındır, hero in round 3 at Arsenal, of course, is injured, as is Tom Heaton. So Andre Onana has the gloves tonight, and young goalkeeper Hubert Grasik is amongst the substitutes alongside new recruit Aidan Heaven.
Yeah, he's not made that many changes, which is unusual for Ruben Amorim, but I think one of them was obviously going to be enforced, and that is the inclusion of Patrick Dorgu. It's a position that has been problematic for Manchester United this season, and we're hoping that with his impetus and with his legs, because he's played a lot of football, so he can come straight in knowing that his fitness levels are up to speed, that he can give us that impetus and that quality and that balance going forward on the left-hand side.
So that's United. In terms of Leicester City, well, Ruud van Nistelrooy makes 4 changes from the resounding weekend defeat to Everton. There's a rare start for Caleb Okoli. Luke Thomas and Patson Daka, previous scorers against the Reds, come in from the off. Wilfred Ndidi captains the side and makes his first appearance since December after recovering from a hamstring problem. Veteran striker Jamie Vardy is not involved. Yannick Vestergaard and Victor Christensen also haven't travelled, and Harry Winks drops to the bench. Bilal El Khanous, who scored here in October's EFL Cup tie, will be one of the Foxes' principal attacking threats.
Yeah, it's a poser, isn't it, for Ruud, because they're starting to get to this stage of the season now where, yes, they're in an FA Cup tie and it's a welcome distraction from the league, but how many of these players that he's not brought this evening is he going to rely on, and at what stage do you offset trying to stay in the Premier League, which is primarily everybody's target, over trying to win the FA Cup? I think they've got more of a chance of giving that a go, the aforementioned staying in the league, that is, rather than winning the FA Cup, because should they manage to get past Manchester United, I don't think that they're going to win it, but there's still plenty of points to play for to see their Premiership survival. It's difficult for Ruud.
Off we go in the 4th FA Cup meeting between these two sides. United won the first 2 in the early 60s and mid-70s, and Leicester did the business most recently, winning the 2021 quarter-final on their way to lifting the trophy. So what will we get tonight, I wonder?
Well, I think the first thing we need to address is the fact that Patrick Dorgu, who pretty much everybody, myself included, thought would start down the left-hand side and revert Diogo Dalot to his more natural right-sided berth, he's actually starting on the right. Now, I believe that he has done that quite a bit for his previous club, Lecce, and he's alternated between right and left. I just thought that he would go on the left-hand side and see if we can get Diogo Dalot operating down the right in his more natural position, especially when you get into the final third.
Daka will chase this. It might be a problem for Harry Maguire here, and Lenny Yoro back there as well. Daka held it up really nicely, and the strike came in from Jordan Ayew. It had to be watched all the way through by Andre Onana.
Well, it's the first opportunity, and he didn't have cause a problem getting in between both Lenny Yoro and Harry Maguire, Patson Daka.
Indeed, Cordova-Reid whipping it away from Diogo Dalot. Soumaré now, just quite a few casual passes being played. Højlund with Ndidi trying to slow him down. by fair means or foul. Ahmad now. Dorgu. Tried the 1-2 with Mainu, and the free kick has been given the way of the new signing.
Well spotted by Michael Soles, because the assistant on this near side, he didn't give that, and I thought it was a blatant obstruction.
We're starting to see Manchester United progress down this right-hand side, the Leicester left. Fernandes to Ahmad, who fancies it, and Jordan Ayew was alive to the threat.
Decent free kick. He obviously caught Leicester out.
In from Fernandes. Delo was closest to it. Fernandes will have another go. Spotted Ahmad, who was free. Just couldn't quite take it with him. Sets up Dorgu. Well, he put plenty behind it. It just took off his boots.
Yeah, he had to hit it as it was coming across him. Clever little flick. He was unfortunate not to control it himself, Ahmad, just a little bit in front, and he lets go. It just shows you that he is very dexterous. It's a decent strike with his right foot, but always rising, always going over. But with every touch, his confidence will build. And that's exactly what these players need to have, because they're all good players.
Lenny Yoro. Dorgu. Nicely done.
No.
Just went down a little late in the challenge. And now Ayew. And now looking for D. Cordova-Reid. Patson Daka in the middle, but D. Cordova-Reid decided he'd try and fizz it across somehow.
Yeah, it was neither here nor there, was it? I think Michael Salisbury got it right. I don't think it was a foul on Dorgu, but that's a really good pass to release D. Cordova-Reid. And I'm not quite sure, was he trying to wrap his foot round it and see if he could pick out Patson Daka in the middle, or was that an opportunity to see if he could catch Onana out at his near post? But it ended up being neither.
Here's Hermansen and Okoli. Thomas trying to escape from Dorgu. Lenny Yoro in strongly.
I think he'd done enough with the first one. He didn't really need to lunge in. He was only ever going to give a free kick there, Michael Salisbury, for a tackle from behind. I'm not so sure whether United need to start engaging a press and go and take the ball off them. There's nothing to suggest that they're very good at it where they are in the table.
El Khanous trying to find a way past Yoro. It's there for Ndidi, and it goes over the line off D. Cordova-Reid. Leicester City lead at Old Trafford. A messy and scrappy goal in some ways, but you try telling those in blue they lead in the FA Cup fourth round.
Well, you can't say that they've not had their fair share of this first half and that you couldn't see it coming. United have created very, very little, and I'm not saying Andre Onana has had a lot to do, but as this ball comes here, Manuel Ugarte gives it away too easily, and then El Khanous, who is one player that can make things happen, and he's pulled it back there, and as it's come back off Andre Onana, the initial save from Soumare, and they've got to keep an eye. He's just run off the back of Kobbie Mainoo, and as it's come back off Onana, D. Cordova-Reid is standing in exactly the right position just to nod it back when it had just come from. And again, United have gone behind at Old Trafford, and they've got to find an answer, and they've got to find an answer within about 48 minutes, otherwise they will be heading out of the FA Cup.
Back at Old Trafford and in front as it stands. Are you happy to see out time? And indeed there is the half-time whistle. A first half that in the end belongs to Leicester City. They have the lead after Wilfred Ndidi's strike was saved by Andre Onana, and Bobby D. Cordova-Reid was in the perfect spot to nod it home. A chance, or half rather, of few chances, which will be a concern from a Manchester United point of view. Plenty needs to happen in the second half. At the break, it's Manchester United 0, Leicester City 1. Jordan Ayew picks it up. And now Daka. El Khanous might fancy hitting this. He does take it on. It was always heading well wide.
And I hate to point it out, but that all happened because, again, Ahmad lost the ball. He does need to look after the ball a lot better.
As we tick into the 64th minute here at Old Trafford. Ugarte, a change of pace, skipping away from Soumare, and on goes Alejandro Garnacho here, in on goal, and in it goes, or not. Remarkable defensive work. Everybody around Old Trafford just assumed it was in, but Caleb Okoli did not give up on it.
Well, Valkvas has got to take some of the credit. Yeah, I mean, there's no way that it went anywhere near crossing the line. But between the two of them, Fes and Koulibaly, they've kept their one-goal lead intact.
He has had such limited game time under Ruud van Nistelrooy in the Premier League that will mean an awful lot to him.
Well, you said it, that he didn't give it up, so the fact that he didn't give it up, he probably deserved that look, but it's so unfortunate for Alejandro Garnacho. Again, I'll give Valkves his due. He was the one that took the pace off the original shot.
Soumare trying to make things happen. Mazraoui stepping in. It's Ahmad who has two to tangle with. Really interesting to see which way this game is going to twist and who can step forward in red, if anyone, to make things change.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to say that they've already retreated. It's a great ball.
Maguire it was who found Højlund. Ahmad, Xerxes in the middle, Dalot joining. Just couldn't quite get it out from under his feet. In from Mazraoui, Dalot is there. Yoro moves it on for Alejandro Garnacho. Trying to beat his man and fire one in, and Xerxes there! A big goal for the individual and the collective. Manchester United back on terms. A reward for perseverance.
Well, I was hoping that chance for Alejandro Garnacho was going to be the start of something, and here's the man again, really positive, faced up with two, but a little bit of a body movement. It was a clever little flick, wasn't it? Was it Rasmus Højlund that tried the old little Cruyff back heel? And Fes got in the way the first time, but couldn't do anything about the second one. And he didn't panic, did he, Joshua Zirkzee? He didn't thrash at it, he didn't snatch at it, he just calmly side-footed it into the empty goal. Now then, let's see what a difference that can make to the way United finish this game off.
Mazraoui leading the Manchester United charge here. And getting it back from Ahmad. Plenty of red shirts in the middle. It's away by Okoli. Those in blue have a man down.
Is it Daka?
Garnacho. Justin's challenge.
I have to say, I would like him to put the ball out.
Here is Delo and Garnacho. Oh, and he's gone side netting. He had various options in the middle, but decided to go alone, and the angle was not in his favour.
Well, actually, there's two things here. Number one, I'm going to take back what I've just said, because Patson Daka is injured. He's just got cramp, so quite right. But I know one Sir Alex Ferguson that would have gone absolutely ballistic when there are players in a better position for a tap-in. And I understand that he's on a little bit of a high because he's come on and he's made a difference, he's playing well. But part of that is making the right decisions and the correct decisions.
Added time now will be stressful. If there's 30 more minutes, each of those will be stressful. It's been that kind of game. Very much been nip and tuck.
Oh,
that wasn't what Harry Winks planned.
Switch, maybe? No.
Fernandes for Garnacho. They want handball.
Oh, that's harsh.
That's harsh, he says with a giggle.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely take it. I mean, was it? Anyway, it don't matter. It's an opportunity to get the ball in the box, and it will be the last opportunity.
Bruno Fernandes plotting here. In towards Lenny Yoro. Oh, it's in! It's Harry Maguire! Manchester United win the match! And the man who formerly wore blue wins it for the Reds!
Wow. I told you, didn't I? We'll take that handball all day long. It's an absolutely thumping header. I mean, it's just a ball that's played into an area with no particular pace on it, but the direction of it for Harry Maguire to come in at that back post. We always say, don't we, why on earth does somebody not as good in the air as him score more goals? Well, if you are going to get one this season, Harry Maguire, step forward. I mean, the linesman on the far side has probably missed, I don't know, maybe 16 of them that were offside. Whether he was one of them, I don't know. But listen, I'm taking nothing away because I think he's hardly put a foot wrong in this game. He's been a leader. A difficult game for him because of where he's come from and the stick he's been getting from the crowd. But like everything else, he just blocks it out and he gets on with being a professional. And he has won this tie for Manchester United with a thumping header and a brilliant header. Congratulations to him.
And in Fergie time too, you might say.
I said it was coming, didn't I? But it was from Bruno.
What a moment for Harry Maguire against his former club. Time is surely up. Ahmad will run it as far into the corner as he can.
Yeah.
I might fancy going all the way here. It's Ahmad!
That'll do.
Well, a wry smile as it drifts wide. Would have been a special way to grab a third.
It certainly would. Yeah, it would. Listen, I think on balance of the way the play's gone in the second half with the changes, or the change that he made at half-time, Ruben Amorim, United deserved it. They deserved it.
And that is that.